Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here in Bishop Auckland in the north of England, and I'm here at this incredible Project Auckland, which is literally the nexus of history and religion in England. I'm here with Catherine Hodgson, who is the head of marketing and communications here at Project Auckland. We're going to talk to her about what this attraction is, and it is really something, and it really surprised me, and we're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Catherine, first of all, great to see you here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
And thank you for really letting us know about this incredible project. We've been touring around. This is actually a palace, right?
Yeah, so we're standing outside Auckland Palace, which you can see behind us. Auckland Palace was home to the Prince Bishops of Durham. So the Prince Bishops of Durham were very powerful men. They were second only to the King in England. So they could create their own armies, they could mint their own coins, create their own laws. And they had a strategic position sort of close to the border with Scotland. So at the time when Scotland and England were sort of warring against each other, these men had a lot of wealth and power.
So this is a fairly new project, considering its history. When did this project begin?
So the Auckland project began in 2012 when the founder of the charity, Jonathan Ruffer, purchased Auckland Palace from the Church of England. So the Bishop of Durham moved out, and Jonathan wanted to create a visitor destination here in Bishop Auckland. So over the last sort of 10 to 12 years, we've been doing lots of building, creating lots of beautiful attractions. Obviously, the palace itself is over 800 years old, so that's a very old building. But in terms of a visitor attraction, it's only really been open for the last 3 to 4 years. We have a faith museum as well.
Which I want to talk about that too. I want to talk about that because it's amazing. There is a faith museum here. So this was, up until fairly recently, is where the bishops lived, and we see you got evidence of where their apartments and things like that. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so the Bishops of Durham lived here for over 800 years, and the Bishop still actually has his office here, and the chapel in Auckland Palace is still the Bishop of Durham's chapel, so it's still a living, working place of worship, and that's a really important part of our history. So we tell that story through Auckland Palace, through the rooms that you can explore. You can learn about the Bishops of Durham, and then the Faith Museum, which is a new
actually the new edition, and I got to tell you, I was blown away. I was saying, Faith Museum, what's that? Yeah. But it really tells you the history of religion and faith in England, and for years, for over the centuries. And so it really is, I could spend a long time in there. We didn't have enough time, that's the problem.
Yeah, so the Faith Museum tells over 6,000 years of British history through faith. So we have prehistoric objects in there, archaeological finds, all the way through to the modern day. The northeast of England has a really rich spiritual heritage. So you've got Lindisfarne and the northern saints like St Cuthbert. You've got Durham Cathedral just up the road. And obviously the Bishops of Durham living here means that this site also has a lot of spiritual history. So it's great to be able to tell that story in the Faith Museum.
And if you wondered how important the Bishops of Durham are, the Bishop of Durham is, during coronation time, is there next to the King at this point, right?
Yeah, so the Bishop of Durham still has a really important role. At the coronation of King Charles recently, he was right next to the King as the King was being crowned.
Now you also have here, you have accommodations, you have places where people can stay, right?
Yep, so in the last year we've developed 9 self-catering cottages, holiday cottages, varying sizes, right in the centre. Some of them are right next to the palace, and people who stay there get a key so they can get into the gardens after hours and have quite an exclusive experience. And we do have a hotel as well, which can cater for groups, so that's got 38 bedrooms as well.
So you can spend some time. And actually, how long do you recommend you spend in this area? Right?
So if you do Auckland Palace, the Faith Museum and our beautiful gardens, you'd probably need at least half a day, if not a full day. But we also have a heritage railway. We've got 2 art galleries in the town, so there's a lot more to see than just the palace. So if you wanted to do all of the Auckland Project's attractions, you probably need at least a couple of days in Bishop Auckland alone. And then the wider northeast, you've got beautiful Durham Cathedral, you've got another castle, Raby Castle, just down the road. So there's so much to see and do in a very small area.
Now, we came up here, I think it took us about 5 hours by motor coach. We were supposed to go by train, but that didn't work out. But it's really not that far, right?
No, so from London it's about 5 hours, from Manchester probably about 2.5 hours, and you can get to Bishop Auckland by train, so you can change at Darlington and get a 20-minute train to Bishop Auckland, so it's very accessible by road or rail.
Now, what would you say to our 128,000 travel advisors, who are many of whom are going to book England, in terms of making sure that their clients see this site?
Yeah, well, as you said, this site is really important in terms of telling the history, not just of the Northeast, but actually the history of England. We've got beautiful palace, beautiful gardens, and I think because it's a relatively new destination, it's exciting. It's somewhere that people haven't been before, and I think being able to come somewhere completely new and then go back and tell your friends that you've been to somewhere off the beaten track, which hasn't been visited, is really...
For me, I was blown away. I got to tell you, I told you earlier that there was always one destination that I thought I knew England, and I don't until you come here. And where can travel advisors go to find out more about this wonderful Project Auckland and the Auckland Palace?
Yep, so you can visit our website, which is aucklandproject.org, or you can email us, and it's just groups@aucklandproject.org, and we're happy to take any inquiries.
Well, fantastic, Catherine. It was lovely to meet you, and lovely to discover a palace that's been here for how many centuries. It's an amazing site. It really is something that your clients, I think, will love. And it's anytime you're going to visit England, and they're going to visit England, please book this wonderful palace. And I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.